Hi, I'm Nikki,
I'm Kat.
and we're Cat and Mouse Astrology. Welcome to the Capricorn new moon, full moon. It's a
Full
full moon,
moon.
big bright full moon in the sky.
So beautiful. I went out to the lake to watch it rise last night.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I kind of like a Capricorn moon.
I do too.
It's very
Not as much as
practical.
Aquarius moon, but whatever.
What do you think is nice about Capricorn moons?
That it's warm out at night.
Yeah, yeah. We have a nice warm night
Mhm.
into this heat of the summer in the northern hemisphere.
It's also a little easier for me, at least, to get some stuff done.
Yeah,
Something practical and material. And
right. It feels like the it's declutter, declutter time, focused and decluttered. It's like
exactly what I did yesterday. I was like,
climbing
I'm
that mountain.
doing part of the garage that has been a disaster for like 2 years. And
Yep,
and then ended up getting my scooter out. Yay.
we're gonna literally climb the mountain of junk.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, that's very cool.
Like the
Well,
North Americans we are.
right. Well, I am sitting outside, so I hope we are not disturbed by noises. But it's so nice for a minute that uh, here it's going to be what 93 or something in a little while. So I got to get a minute outside while I can. So
Yeah.
I'll share our screen and see this pretty moon. I'll make it big. Can you see it?
Not yet. There it is.
So it's got, it's marked by this Uranus, Saturn, Pluto trine.
Uranus, Saturn, Pluto trine. Wow.
Yeah, and this is the long-term hum that,
Mm,
that I've been talking about for a while that is going to culminate in July of 2026.
right.
So it's building, and of course it's going to break apart because Saturn and Neptune are retrograding. Is right now Neptune's retrograding. In a minute, Saturn's going to retrograde. They're both going to go back into Pisces. So,
Ugh.
what did you leave behind back in Pisces a couple months ago that you got to go back, fix, clean up, and then bring forward with you in a different way?
Fuck.
Yeah. So that's our backward, but the forming trine, it's going to come back forward again and hit this trine point again, and then it will be exact in July. And this is a pretty intense hum of the transpersonal planets and Saturn. I mean, this is some cool stuff.
It seems like a great opportunity for restructuring society, is what I see. That's what I see.
That's exactly how I'm seeing it. It's like if you were feeling, and of course, it benefits some people for us to be demoralized and depressed and just go drink your vodka. But
Mhm.
if you can realize that we're really building to something incredibly beautiful and powerful
Right.
that is actually putting the hands of into the hands of the people the power.
Yeah.
I think that we could really take advantage of what's coming, but it could take us a full year to build up our strength, build up our reserves, figure out what we're going to do, how we are going to contribute to making a more positive society in our future is up
Right.
to each one of us, right?
That's right.
But that's a background hum that's coming. And look at all these other trines. We got the trine with Black Moon and Jupiter.
That's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the sun and Black Moon. I mean, there's something going on here that we're not fully aware of yet.
Right.
And then we've got the trine with the moon and Mars, which could be good or bad depending on how you use it. And but it's an ease of martial energy
Uh-huh.
and emotion. Motion is flowing easily with the martial energy.
Right.
I don't
Well,
know.
and it's Virgo and the Earth signs with the South Node. I'm going to stick with decluttering on that one,
Perfect. Yeah, use that energy to get rid of something, including bad thinking
including bad thinking.
and negative emotions.
Yes,
And then, of course, the whole thing is sextile to the sun, so we've got this beautiful wedge.
that is pretty. It's almost like half a kite.
Yeah, yeah. I think that there's a lot of powerful, positive energy here, in spite of the, still waning square with Jupiter and Saturn. That's going to come back
Mm,
in. I mean, actually, I don't know if we're not going to have another square with Jupiter and Saturn right away.
yeah,
I don't think Saturn's going to retrograde back into sorry. I don't think Jupiter's going to retrograde back and have an impact on Saturn.
yeah,
So
that's good.
I think we're good there. What do you think? What do you see here that's interesting?
Oh, well, I'm super curious about that Jupiter Black Moon thing.
Black Moon is Scorpio.
Black Moon and Scorpio. I mean, Scorpio is already the hidden things,
Yeah,
and then the Black
exactly.
Moon. Let's
Doubling
see what
down
it
on
is.
that. Yeah, let's see what is 11 or 12 because it's
Scorpio.
almost 12 degrees of Scorpio.
Okay. Hmm. An official embassy ball or an inventor performs a laboratory experiment.
Ooh, read them both again.
An official embassy ball, so like diplomats dancing,
Uh-huh.
or an inventor performs a laboratory experiment. I like the inventing something, experimenting on something and inventive,
It's very Uranian. We've got a lot of Uranus in this.
right?
The first one, because of Jupiter, Jupiter is the officials doing fun things, you know. So it kind of makes me think of that one, but that's a balance. And what is Jupiter there at 7
Jupiter at
um,
7 Cancer.
Cancer? Yeah.
A group of rabbits dressed in clothes and on parade.
Ah, see,
That
to
seems
me,
like officials at a ball.
I think it's officials at a ball, secret officials at a ball dressed rabbits. Read it again, dressed as rabbits and what?
A group of rabbits dressed in clothes and on parade.
Uh-huh. Oh, that brings something to my mind. It sure does. So what about the sun? Because the sun is shining a big bright light.
Right. 18 Cancer. A priest performing a marriage ceremony.
Hmm.
Interesting.
What's the next one at 19?
Venetian gondoliers in a serenade.
I don't know. That one's harder to see. What do you
Hmm.
think? I mean,
I don't
this
know.
is
The moon.
illuminating Black Moon, and Black Moon is illuminating Jupiter. I mean, they're both in a uh, trine to. It's 7 degrees with the sun, and it's 4 degrees with Jupiter.
Hmm.
So that's
Go
fairly
to Jupiter.
close. Yeah. What about Mars at 13 degrees of Virgo? That's in
Okay.
sextile to the moon, the black moon. Black moon.
13 degrees.
Yeah, 13 Virgo.
A family tree.
Interesting. Mhm.
Hmm. Maybe it has to do with us coming to a better understanding of the family tree system of the elites and the diplomats and people who rule the world and how they're all like inbred like rabbits.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing. That's the picture I have in my mind. On a yacht. Sorry, with foam. I don't know. What about, I mean, here I think might be an interesting place to look because it's square with Mercury.
Ah,
What
yeah.
does Mercury say about all this at 13 degrees of Leo?
Cherub-like, a human soul whispers, seeking to manifest.
Read one more time.
Cherub-like, a human soul whispers, seeking to manifest. It's
This
that new
evokes,
world waiting to be born.
yeah, this evokes things for me. And I don't know. What it evokes for me is that we have a very few people trying to take all the toys,
Yeah.
all the toys. And again, I've got a cartoon in my mind, and the cartoon is, you know, 4 or 5 bully boys on one side, and behind them is a giant wall of dollies, pretty haired dollies with their arm out. And
Mm,
and then on the other side is all the people, all the kids in all their different colors and shapes and sizes. And the bully boys throw 2 dollies at them and say, "That's what you get. All you get are 2 dollies." But now I see the bully boys are really rabbits.
boys are really rabbits dressed in clothes. Yes.
There is something about Mercury here in retrograde, letting us go back and take a look at this silliness. Like somebody needs to come to the playground and go, "All right, stop it now.
Yeah.
You're going to share your dollies."
So
Okay,
also
so
seems like listen for the whispers this full moon. Listen for the whispers of what your soul wants to manifest.
yes, yes, in the personal sense, in our daily lives, what are we going back over again that has already given us a hint that we need to go back and look at more closely.
Yeah.
So the Mercury's retrograding in Leo, and this is the sign of the sun shining brightly on everything we do anyway. So Mercury is at um, a good place, I would say, for doing its investigation.
Mhm.
It's not being impacted except for by Black Moon Lilith.
I'm going to read the moon.
Yeah,
18 Capricorn. A
or
child of
19.
about what is it? Or
It's
19?
1849. Yeah, so either 18 or
Oh,
19.
wow. Okay. Well, 18, a child of about 5 carrying a huge shopping bag filled with groceries. And then 19, a hidden choir singing during a religious service.
Kind of feels like the bag to me, like we're all carrying kind of a heavy burden right now.
Yeah,
But the religious service kind of goes along with the rabbits.
right. And the marriage ceremony.
Uh-huh. I think it's that's a bit of a burdensome uh archetype.
Mm-hmm. It
What
is
burden?
groceries though.
It gets groceries, but if it's that's a little kid that's being made to do a lot more
That's
than
true.
they probably should at their age,
That's true.
putting a lot on people who have less ability while somebody plays in the foam.
Yeah,
There's a lot, I think that there's a lot of burden represented by this that's the opposite of, opposed to the sun
yeah,
showing the rabbits dressed up as people and living the good life.
right, right,
But in our personal lives, this could indicate that we feel like there's a burden we have to carry right now.
right.
So
I think
let's,
a lot of us are feeling that right now.
what?
I think a lot of us are feeling that right now.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of where we started is like we have something we have to do and it's real important. and it is a burden. It may not be what we wanted to do.
Right.
We might have wanted to do something completely different, and now we find ourselves doing this instead because whatever this is required.
I was gonna go to brunch, but now I have to go to this protest.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. I think that's where we're at right now. Uh-huh. Yep. You know, what's this Pluto at 2:55? I think it just moved back to 2. What's 2 degrees of Aquarius?
A deserter from the Navy.
Uh-huh.
I love that one.
Yeah.
I want people to not go into the military.
What was number 3 again? Because that's, I think, where we were.
A Hindu healer.
Right. So we're moving, we're retrograde right now.
Yeah.
Pluto's retrograde. So we'll be sitting right here for a while. Can you read it one more time? The
A deserter from the Navy.
deserter from the Navy. So just symbolically, we have Saturn and Neptune just left the ocean sign of Pisces.
Uh-huh.
They deserted the Navy and they're going back.
Uh-huh.
I don't know, just a symbol that
Uh-huh.
made me think of it. Um, this is a beautiful sextile between these two, and you know that's pretty exact. 2 degrees and 2 degrees. We're only off by seconds
Right.
with Pluto and Neptune. What's
Neptune.
Neptune at 2 degrees Aries?
A cameo profile of a man and the outline of his country.
Yeah.
That
Well,
nationalism. Got to question that nationalism from time to time.
yeah, deserters from the Navy might be not feeling so loyal to the person with their face on the coin.
Right. Right.
What's one Aries?
A comedian entertaining the group.
Right, we're still there. Yeah.
Let the performer providing distraction. Entertainment literally means to hold between.
Oh,
That's the
yeah.
etymology of it.
Entertainment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool etymology.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. Entertain.
To entertain, hold between, to be a distraction.
Well, and to hold between is real interesting because I still think of Zelensky when I think of that comedian,
Right.
and uh, the the place where the rubber's hitting the road
Mm-hmm.
is there. Do you want to have a society where your vote counts, even if it may be imperfect? Or
I
do you
don't
want,
know. I've
or do
never
you want to have a
experienced
society
that.
where you don't have a vote at all? It's just a sham. So, I mean, this is some place where we have to decide. We could all fall into a place that you might as well just drink your vodka and your lifespan is 54 years old, because that's what it is in Russia.
Yeah.
54 years old is the average age of a man in Russia. 74 or something here for an average 20-year lifespan difference.
That's a
Something to
lot.
keep in mind if you think you might want to be like Russia.
Right.
Anyway,
I think
sorry.
the average lifespan in Palestine is closer to 18.
Oh, it's yeah, because they're murdering everyone.
Yeah.
They're murdering everyone. In Russia, they're just drinking themselves to death because their life has no meaning.
Yeah.
In I say that in a very generalized way because of their government, not as individual people.
Sure.
So let's come and look at this more individually now, because from an individual perspective, you know, when we've been looking at transpersonal planets a lot, what does Venus have to say at 6 of Gemini or
Ooh,
7 of
Venus,
Gemini?
what do you have to say? 6 of Gemini, an old-fashioned well. 7 of Gemini, aroused strikers round a factory.
I think that's where we're headed.
I think that's where we're headed. And I know that that's what we need.
And Venus is moving closer to an inevitable conjunction with Jupiter.
Yay.
That's gonna, yeah. That's gonna be joyful in all of our lives. And you know, like a midsummer dream. I mean, something really nice that we get in the in the towards the end of July, I believe. What
Uh-huh.
does seven of Jupiter look like? Oh, sorry, seven of Cancer look like?
Seven of Cancer. That's the group of rabbits.
Oh,
We don't know where they're going to meet, though. You didn't look ahead to that. That's okay.
right.
We can get to that later.
So Jupiter, but Venus and Jupiter are going to get together. And right now, Venus is striking and Jupiter is dressed up rabbit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those rabbits aren't going to see it coming.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Well, and it is personal and political. It is the village and the home. Because when we look at this all together, when I see this all together, there's a whole lot of unknown factors here that are impacting Jupiter, the sun, Mercury, and Mars, all relative to this moon.
Right.
And these unknown factors, we may be getting a glimpse because the sun is shining brightly here and showing
Right.
us these rabbits dressed up like people covered in foam having a good time on a boat. And we might be feeling like we're now overburdened and
Yeah.
ready to strike. So that could be both on a larger scale and on a smaller scale, on a human individual scale. What about Chiron at 27, really, Aries?
A large disappointed audience.
Uh, right. In square to Pluto. Well, it's not by sign though, but so moving into a square with Pluto that will form over time. So it looks like we're moving into a place of maybe collective and personal disillusionment.
We've been talking about that for months. That's been
Yeah.
on the way for months. Yeah, we're still headed there. Thank God.
Yeah. Time to take off some rose-colored glasses and take a look at what's going on.
Right.
There's a lot of crazy destruction.
Hmm.
I think most people wouldn't ever want to have thought they'd agreed to.
Have what they agreed to?
I think if people take off the rose-colored glasses and see what's really happening, I don't think very many people would actually agree to what's going on if they see it for what it is.
I think yes and no. I think that's true, but I think it's also true that the rose-colored glasses need to come off for the how we see other people in some ways. Like there are some really vile ideologies out there that have stayed relatively hidden from a large portion of the population. And those are the people fucking ruling the world.
Right. The bully
There
boys.
are a lot of eugenicists in this world and they control a lot of policy. And so on the one hand, yeah, you want to take off the rose-colored glasses and see the way the world really is. Uh, and it's going to be ugly. It's ugly out there. On one hand, on the other hand, the world actually it really is a beautiful place. And people are
Exactly.
wonderful.
And the bully boys that I see, there's only a few of them.
There are
There's
really
a
only a
lot
few.
more of us. We're just intimidated. And again, it's kind of like, if it were the playground, some teacher would eventually come along, but
Right.
we might be in Lord of the Flies.
Right. Because there's also like there's the few bully boys, and then there's the like dozen that join them, thinking they're going to be protected.
Right. The sycophants.
Right.
What do you want, master? I'll help you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it's a very interesting time in history where Marvel movies seem real and oh my gosh. Well, let's take a look at the nodes.
Oh, yeah. Ooh, it's approaching. Oh, it's moving away from my natal. Okay, right.
Yeah, that's a intense position too.
I'm gonna look at the south node first.
Okay. South node in Virgo at 21.
One. A royal coat of arms enriched with precious stones.
Mhm.
South
Damn
Node. What are we moving away from? Royalty and
royalty.
hoarding of wealth.
Yes. I'm going to take this jewel from this country because they're just brown people, and I'm going to wear it, and I'm special. No, no,
Mhm,
lady, you're not. Sorry.
mhm, mhm.
She's dead. I can say that. Okay, what's our south node?
At
Oh, that was
20.
south node. Was that north or
North
south?
Node.
North
Oh, North
node
Node.
in
That was the South
Pisces.
Node.
That was
That
north.
was the South.
That
So
was the south node.
North Node 21 Pisces, a prophet bringing down the new law from Mount Sinai.
Thank you. The teacher comes in the room and says, "No,
Hmm.
can't do that."
Let's make some new laws.
Yes.
Here's some new laws. There's only 10 of them. They cover everything.
You have to share the dollies.
I don't know why we can't have simpler laws. I mean, I do know why, but it's ridiculous.
Well, and the things are actually more simple than we think because a big part of all this is just those bullies don't want to have anybody tell them what to do. You can't
That's
tell me what to
accurate.
do. You can't
Right.
tell me what to do. And all the rest of us are supposed to just
Do what
eat
they tell us to do.
food and sleep in poison beds and because they're off on their yachts and covered in foam. I don't think so. No, we're not going to. Aquarius, Pluto and Aquarius says we got about 20 years for a change to happen.
Yep, it's going to be good in the long run.
It may be painful in the short run, but
I'm going to keep holding on to that. Time travelers, we got to like pull the future towards us, the one that we want. We have to pull it towards us and pull ourselves toward it. And
so what about Uranus? It's our last one. It's at 0 degrees
Neuro
of
Gemini.
Gemini. It's just entering the zone where the United States goes to war every time.
Right, Uranus and Gemini.
Is this going to be a cyber war? Is this going to be a war of minds?
Well, right now it's a war against immigrants. 0 degrees Gemini. A glass-bottomed boat reveals undersea wonders.
Interesting.
Revealing
Revealing.
things that we can't normally access.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh. In a boat. So you're traveling, or at least going with the flow.
Uh-huh. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing some enlightenment from
Yeah.
our, what there could be huge enlightenment from things we discover over the next few years.
Hmm.
Because
Finally
Uranus is
able to see things that have been on
right.
the other side of a barrier.
Yeah, underwater. You can't see
Yeah.
between, I mean, water is the barrier.
Yeah.
Of course, there's a relationship this here with all those rich people. Um, they're trying to get oil from the seabed now
Hmm.
instead of moving to renewables.
Hmm.
That dinosaur is really hard to die.
We just gotta suck it dry, huh?
Yeah, but we've got about 20 years. Like I said, we're moving into a place where I think well where the astrology says the people have the power.
We know the people have the power. It's
Right. And
like this history over and over again. The elite take control, everybody suffers miserably. Eventually they suffer, the suffering becomes too great, and the guillotines come out. And this is what happens over and over and over again, all throughout human history.
that's right. Cover yourself with foam and see what we start to think about. It's a visual. They made a visual that we all can think about now, and it was too much. It went too far. It was too symbolic of the frivolity, and it's like they're dancing on their ship while we really do have global warming issues, and
Right.
children are being killed,
Yeah,
and
they're just dancing at their embassy ball.
And these people are taking over cities
Going on
and
parade.
dancing, in embassy balls with their weird Michael Jackson faces. Sorry. I mean, there's a lot of surgery that's gone on with a lot of those people, and they're no
That's
longer
sad.
human looking.
That's
I
sad.
love Michael Jackson.
But it's sad when someone feels like they have to change themselves so drastically. I think.
Exactly. When they
I
do so
think.
much surgery, they no longer look, or they all start to look alike.
There's that. Everybody's got the same plastic surgery nose.
Exactly. Give me a pug nose, man. Give me something different. I want something cute. Come on.
I want a tiny waist and big hips like Barbie.
Well, we've got, again, power for the people in this. Um, that Mars in Virgo, like you said, Kat, that can give us a lot of good energy to clean up whatever's going on in the Virgo house.
That's right.
So I say use this energy in the most positive way you can. You might be feeling like you're carrying a heavy burden, but
Mhm.
shift it around a little bit, and
Sit down whatever you can.
yeah, yeah. And we
Everything you can possibly let go of and set down. Set it
yeah,
down.
yeah, let go of what you can of your burdens.
Hmm.
I mean, that's
Lots
what
of times, lots
the
of times people will pick up other people's burdens and it's not theirs to carry.
uh-huh.
And you're not actually helping the other person by carrying their burden for them. You're kind of just enabling them.
Right. Right. Finding a place to where you can set down those burdens you don't need to carry so you can readjust the weight and you can handle carrying what you are carrying.
Hmm.
Well, we've got some positive things to look forward to. So hang in there is also what I'm saying is it feels funk now, but we are moving to a beautiful trine by this time next year. And that could be a really life-changing trine personally and in the larger world.
Right. A
So
year's a long way to hold on, but
yeah, that's why you got to set down some of those burdens if you can.
yeah. I
So you
will
can,
say on that end, like sometimes the way to let go of a burden is to just talk about it. And so if you can be maybe you can be the glass bottom boat for somebody where you're not like carrying their load, but you're witnessing it. There's a lot, I know there's a lot to be said for just witnessing other people.
absolutely. That's really true. That's really true. We can't solve necessarily someone else's problem, but by acknowledging that they are having a problem, you know, at least they're not being gaslit.
Well, yeah, and it's so there's something about it that like lightens the burden.
Yeah,
Just to speak your troubles to somebody else will lighten your load.
exactly. Yep. And maybe talking about stuff that's happened in the past that you still haven't gotten over.
That's
You know,
probably a good thing to do. This is
as
probably a
we're
good moment for that.
yeah, as we're going back over things with Mercury and Leo, the light, Sun is rules Leo and Mercury rules Virgo, where Mars is sitting, and also Gemini. So there's a interrelationship here, and Mercury has an opportunity to think things through. I
Right.
think that's really good, Kat. I like that a
That
lot.
glass bottom boat is going to help you see some things that you haven't been able to see before that your soul's whispering to you about, as Mercury says. Cherub like.
Yeah, perfect. I love that.
Yeah.
Let's end on that note.
Okay.
All
Happy
right.
Capricorn full moon, everybody.
Have a nice moon. Enjoy the light, and we'll see you at the new moon.
Yeah.
Bye.